So much of what we do at McGee relies upon philanthropy. We are a small place, 83-bed hospital, and there are a lot of programs here that only happen because of the money that we raise. So our foundation board is led by our chairman, Bill Conrad, who we have been so lucky to have as our leader for the last several years. I mentioned the campaign for the Creative Therapy Center and Healing Gardens. We could not have had a better partner, and that would not have happened were it not for Bill in that role as chairman, both leading by example as well as getting others engaged. And Bill, I'm going to ask you to speak next, and then you get to do the fun stuff and finally unveil all this good stuff. So.
Good morning. Thank you. This is really an exciting day, and I'll digress in a moment and tell you probably something you don't know, or at least some of you don't know. But first of all, to be here to celebrate Dr. George and the contributions he's made to McGee in the biggest sense of that word are just remarkable on so many fronts. I'll digress because we're in a beautiful space here with wonderful art, and it wasn't so many years ago, and those of you with memories of just a few years ago remember that you might have called this the armpit of Race Street here 10 years or so ago. This was dark. There were about 3 light bulbs in here. It was a kind of, I'm not an architect, but it was not a particularly well-designed space. And it's hard to say that having a truck drive through your front door was a fortuitous event, and I don't want to make light of that because it was a horrible day when that happened. But it did start a series of events that have culminated in us being here today, and it makes it all the more exciting to see Dr. George's artwork on this. We debated for, Mark, how many years did we talk about trying to get artwork in here? We had some pictures of some old guys kind of like me, with pictures that were pretty grayed out and curling at the edges, and I can't think of a starker contrast. So first of all, it's wonderful to be here today in this vastly transformed space, and especially great to be here to celebrate Dr. George, because I can't think of, I use the word sparingly, but Renaissance man I don't think is an overstatement. We just heard from Dr. Bonner an extraordinary level of accomplishments and breadth of ability, and I can't talk too much about that because when we turned to Dr. George last fall to talk to him about a naming campaign, his thoughts of how that might work out, first of all he agreed to lead it, which was we hadn't even gotten that out of our mouths yet. He basically offered himself up. But then he took that a whole nother level and first made the first gift, which obviously has a lot to do with why we're here today. We'd probably be here anyway, but now we have an amazing situation where throughout the hospital there's 250 paintings Dr. George has been the author of. There's 70 more down at the riverfront, and I think it really captures the spirit of McGee in many ways, because we know what a difficult situation Dr. George was in just a few years ago, and I think about this as the flowering and just the evidence of what people can do under extreme circumstances. And it's an amazing statement, and I'm so proud to be here today and so proud to be honoring you, Dr. George. And with that, I would like to introduce Jimmy George.
Going to unveil the picture, so that everybody knows the man behind the art.
And now a word from the man who made it all possible. Thank you, Dr. George.
Let's have Jimmy and Mary.
Yes. Okay.
Yep, perfect. So Jimmy on one end, and if we can have Mary George on the other end. I'll also say before we do that, so when we first dedicated this space, the wall up there, this was the picture. So we upgraded a little bit inside today. But now the moment that we've all kind of been waiting for And I'm told that you're going to pull this gently. There are some tacks or pins that are holding it in, and we're going to count to, Dr. George, why don't you count to 3, and on 3 if you pull it off, and we'll all hold our breath that it goes well.
1, 2, 3. That's even better than I expected.